Okay. We already got the couple people in the comments section already. We already got Davis saying Vols by 1 million. All right. Let's see how it is. All right. You ready?
Will you turn my ears down a smidge? You're the loudest person on the planet.
I mean, old habits die hard, man.
I know.
Okay. Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies. It is Thursday. It's just past 2 o'clock. That means we are live on YouTube. It's another Sleek Fleet OG Live. Check them out online at sleek-fleet.com. I cannot think of a better time for Sleek Fleet given the football season. You're trying to get out to Carter Finley. You're trying to get out to Keenan. Wallace Wade. Hey, I just got Kane's preseason emails for preseason games. They're doing that $10 community day again. $10 general admission to PNC Arena.
That feels good.
You need a ride? You want to get litty and then not have to worry about getting back? That's where Sleek Fleet comes into play, baby. So go to sleek-fleet.com. Joe, tonight is the night.
Tonight is the night?
Real football's back.
Oh.
Real football's back. The men are playing.
Yeah, boy.
Although, given some of the COVID years that I've seen, I think including that one guy at Miami who's played for nine different football seasons or whatever. No, there are some actual men playing college football, but no. Step aside the rest of the sports world. The NFL is back. And I'm going to hit you. With.
If only.
No.
Not if only.
Not if only. We got the Chiefs and the Ravens tonight, right?
Yeah. Scars. They hurt. Yeah.
We'll put this aside for a second. Your scars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting at. We don't have to talk about that right now.
All right.
We have all season to talk about that.
Yeah, you're right.
All season to talk about that.
You're right.
My question is tonight a must win for the Baltimore Ravens, Joe?
Yes. Absolutely, because if they win tonight, that erases the loss to the Chiefs in the playoffs last year.
Absolutely.
When their scouting report absolutely failed them and they decided, that number 87, he's okay, but I'm sure they have a bag full of shitty other receivers that could beat us that we should probably really pay attention to. Oh no. Probably would have been a good idea to pay a little bit extra attention to 87.
Joe, I told you we weren't going to do scars.
Weird.
With the Chiefs.
Weird.
Man. We weren't going to do that. We just weren't going to do that.
I would say this all the time about Bill Belichick when everyone's like, "Oh my God, he's the greatest coach in the history of history."
Yeah.
And now Andy Reid, that he's won 2 in a row. It's Andy Reid, he's actually better coach than Belichick, which I'm here to listen to that argument.
Okay.
But it does mildly amuse me sometimes that what people think is like true genius.
Mm-hmm.
I take this game, for example. Baltimore was the best team in the AFC last year. They were actually, by point differential, the best team in the NFL last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lamar Jackson was the MVP last year.
Cool.
Not Patrick Mahomes.
Cool.
They meet in the playoffs. In the first half of that game, I'm sitting here going, okay, yeah, this is the playoffs. So this is a very thin margin. There was a Zay Flowers fumble at the goal line, which was a great play by the Chiefs. But hey, man, you hear me say it all the time. Die with your fastball. Chiefs went into that game, and every single play went to Travis Kelce in the first half of the football game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting here going, they had the kid from Notre Dame, the safety from Notre Dame. He's over covering Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Your boy.
And I'm going why? What? Can we please just cover the one guy? So I hope Andy Reid shows up tonight and does the same thing to them, because they absolutely, totally, completely deserve it.
Sometimes it's not even about coaching genius.
Joe.
Sometimes it's as simple as my guys can beat your guys. It's not that complicated. I mean, you brought up Bill Belichick, right? I mean, there was a time there with, it makes it a hell of a lot easier when Tom Brady, one of the greatest to ever do it, is lobbing up passes to Randy Moss, another guy who was the greatest to all do it, the best of all do it. And what did he do? They ended up losing to the Giants anyway in the Super Bowl. Okay? So all that genius, sometimes, man,
it happens.
The ball shaped a funny way, therefore things happen in a funny way.
I just remembered that I had an exacta, and the exacta was the Ravens versus the Chiefs, and how close the Ravens versus the Niners, and how close I really was to that.
Yeah.
But I'm still here doing this. So if that had happened, OG Media probably doesn't exist anymore. I keep threatening you with these gambling wins to for that to be the end of OG Media. So
you can't quit it. You can't quit this. You could win big money. Like, I see the meme all the time. Like, I might win the lottery. I'll never tell you if I win the lottery, but there will be signs. Like that's an ongoing meme that I'll see on social media. For you, you'll keep coming to work. We'll keep doing this podcast, but there will be signs that you won big on the gambling circuit. You won big on the gambling circuit. Here's the thing about the Chiefs. And I can, be facetious how we started this thing about, is it a must win in week 1 for any of these teams? It's not a must win for any of these teams, period. Straight up. Sorry. We see these stats all the time where teams can overcome slow starts of the season and turn things around. We've seen countless wild cards go on heaters. I mentioned the Giants, for heaven's sake. I mean, Eli Manning's entire Hall of Fame career is based on 2 seasons of doing exactly that. But I do like to apply lessons to every start of the football season. And I'm not going to make the mistake that I made with Tom Brady and the Patriots, or Tom Brady in particular, where I was just trying to be ahead of the game and tell you, this is it. This is when the dynasty's over, or this is it. This is when Tom Brady's going to drop off. And we're doing it again with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, as if people think they're being brilliant, like I once did, by going, I'm telling you what, this is the year where everybody catches up to Patrick Mahomes. It won't be. Patrick Mahomes will still be the best quarterback in the league. The Chiefs will still be the team to beat. Everybody who's tried to position themselves in their division has fallen flat on their face in trying to do so. And I think the Chiefs will get back to the Super Bowl. This is no knock on the trendy teams that are out there, because the 2 trendiest teams going into the start of the season are the Lions and the Texans. But the problem is with those 2 teams versus the Chiefs, who understand what the expectations are. They understand the scrutiny. They understand to reload and get back out there and not sweat it if they go through some ups and downs in the course of the regular season, like the Chiefs did last year before winning the Super Bowl. Can the Lions and the Texans deal with expectations? CJ Stroud last year was very much like, oh my goodness, can you believe this guy's doing it? But now there's like some serious stakes for the Texans. And I've seen some people picking them to get to the Super Bowl this upcoming season, which is a pretty trendy thing along with the Lions. Although now that Dan Campbell's hawking riblets at Applebee's, I don't know if that's really going to keep going for me.
Boneless wings.
Always go for the riblets, dude.
I think that's what he's...
Are they boneless? I'll have to pull up the ad. I'll pull up the ad.
Super Bowl has been played 58 times.
Yeah.
No team's ever won it 3 years in a row. I think the Chiefs acutely are aware of that stat and are motivated by it. They want to be the first team to do it. They want to make their own history. They want to do something. Andy Reid, for damn sure, wants to do something Belichick never did. And Mahomes would like to separate himself, because there's no guarantee you get the 7, right? Like, I know he's got 3 already. He's 28 years old, but like, people need to square that. They also need to square that Patrick Mahomes is actually a better quarterback than Tom Brady ever was physically, and now performing at the highest level. So please spare me he has to have 8 in order for him to be better.
No, he does not. No, he does not.
Oh, is he going to play in a Super Bowl where the opposing coach has a complete brain freeze and throws the ball from the 1 yard line? Is that going to happen? Or maybe is he going to play in the Super Bowl against a team that's up 28-3 and decides they're just going to drop back and pass the rest of the game instead of maybe protecting the clock just a little bit? I mean, is he going to be that fortunate in his career? Probably not. So maybe we should just judge him by his merits instead of the luck that he gets in the Super Bowl.
From Ken, signs Giglio won big. He has an assistant apply the neck rub for him. That is one way to do it. Jake with a good point. Lions beat the Chiefs to start the year last year. Look, the Chiefs went through it last year.
Chiefs were 8-5 last year.
They went through it last year.
I got to tell you, I mean, you think other people were happy. Like, when they were 8-5, I was like, see? I told you. They had a stretch where they lost to the Eagles, the Packers, and the Bills. That Bills game on Sunday, December 10th. Remember, it was at home.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, now the Bills are going to get them in Buffalo in the playoffs. If they make it.
How'd that work out?
If they make it.
How'd that work out?
Well, sure enough, they did get him and then they missed a kick, right? So look, I've given up. I've completely given up.
That's what I'm saying.
Completely given up.
That's what I was saying. That's why I was tying it back to the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady era, or Tom Brady in particular.
Yeah.
especially when it went to Tampa. Just like, I'm calling it. Like, I get it, because you get sick and tired of seeing the same people over and over again. And that actually leads to a little bit of different coverage when we talk about the NFL. Maybe it's because we've been so caught up in college football over the last couple of weeks. I feel like most of the storylines around the NFL are very cookie cutter right now.
Yeah.
Yes, the Chiefs. Oh, here we are going on and on again about Lamar Jackson and whether or not he's the real deal. Never mind, he's won the MVP and everything else. And twice, right? Yes, we've got the discourse around Josh Allen. I think if there's anything exciting about the NFL this upcoming season is the new crop of rookie quarterbacks, which gets to the other, everybody's looking at Caleb Williams to see if he can have a follow-up season the way that CJ Stroud did with the Texans last year. I think there's entirely way too much pressure on Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears going on this season. I think somebody had picked him to go to the Super Bowl, for heaven's sake. Actually, I think it was Nick Wright at Fox Sports who went ahead and did that. Let's see, from Kevin on the YouTube comments. Ravens are the only barrier. Plus, I guess, to the Chiefs. Plus, Baltimore's on that 12-year plan. 2012. By math. Oh, yeah. 2024. That would be something. From Mike on the YouTube comments. Championships are a coach and team stat, not a QB stat. Remember, Trent Dilfer has more Super Bowl rings than Marino and Jim Kelly combined. Yeah, that's a very valid point. Unfortunately, we do live in an era where everything is all about the rings. Joe, with the NFL back.
Sorry, man. I'm looking at this box score from last year. My blood is boiling.
Why do you do that to yourself?
I don't know why you made me do this.
Why do you do this to yourself? It makes no sense, man. Let's get on that DraftKings. Use that promo code OG24. You bet $5. Your first $5, you will get $250 in bonus bets when you use the promo code OG24. Plus, there's some other goodies. Here's a fun fact for you from Neil Greenberg at the Washington Post, Joe. There are 14 home favorites during this year's opening week, the most since 2014 when there were 13. That does not mean it should be a banner week for hosting teams. Since 2002, there have been 11 seasons with at least 10 home favorites in week one. And as a group, they've gone 58-74 against the spread. That's a 44% winning percentage, I should say. There hasn't been a winning week against the spread for the seasons with double-digit week one home favorites since 2007. So I'm just saying, you take some of those bonus bets. I think Riley over at Groove Wagon was saying this. On your little fantasy preview, your betting preview, do some little blind, just throw it out there with the bonus bets and see what happens, right? Have a little fun with it.
The underdogs were 10-6 last year. Just take them all. Take all the dogs.
Take all the dogs.
Take them all.
That's what you could do with DraftKings. They have all sorts of fun ways to get into this football season, and all you have to do is download the app. So download the app today. Use that promo code OG24. You can look at futures. You can look at dogs. You can look at who's going to score a touchdown in this quarter. I was looking at the Panthers and the Saints, and they had who's going to score the first touchdown and how is it going to happen. There's all sorts of fun ways to do this, and it's all at DraftKings. So download the app, use the promo code OG24, and new customers will get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, and you will get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on them. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms can be found at NFL.com/terms.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/FTBall.
Housekeeping brought to you by Enovana. Check them out online at enovana.com. Green cleaning solutions.
Did it again.
I got bad news for you, man. Listen,
my button pushing is terrible, right? Let's do this again. Enovana.
If you have messed such Get it clean, clean with Inobana.
There we go. What were you gonna say? You gonna judge my button pushing over here? It's warranted. I've had a bad week of button pushing.
You need to get back to school.
You know what I should have done this
Radio
week?
school.
You know what I should have done this week? I should have taken on an FCS opponent.
Warm it up.
That's what I should have done. Should have played all my starters for that first series this week. That would have got me going for the most important week on the sports calendar, the true start of all football with the NFL and college. Go to OG trianglemedia.com right now. We got OG fans. You can sign up for as little as $13 a month.
That's a deal.
It is a deal.
That's 2 coffees.
You get premium newsletters. You get premium podcasts. It's all at OGtrianglemedia.com. Today, Lauren Brownlow asked a simple question for the Carolina Panthers. Can you just be normal for once? It's all she's asking. We're also going to have an OG mailbag podcast for you on Friday. Those come out every Friday. All you got to do is email us, theoggoesdigital@gmail.com. You can leave a little comment on ogtrianglemedia.com. We'll pluck those out and answer them in the OG mailbag. Or you can call the sports phone at 919-444-2211. What are you smirking about?
All that extra work that you got me doing.
I mean, that's what we do. That's how we make money.
I know.
I'm just saying. Just like we thank our corporate sponsors, our corporate champions for helping us make a living as well. Big thanks to Longleaf. Check them out online, longleafswine.com. Maybe you don't want to do squat this weekend. You got football all day Saturday, football all day Sunday. Get it catered.
I was going to say.
Get takeout. Go to longleafswine.com. They got great stuff. The barbecue, obviously on point. Brisket, always on point. But don't sleep on the smash burgers. Don't sleep on the appetizers like that fried okra.
Chicken pot pie.
Really good stuff. Maybe you don't want to do takeout. You want to cook it yourself. No big deal. That's where the Butcher's Markets comes into play. Check out thebutchersmarkets.com. You can get the signature steak tips. You can get pre-made burger patties, dogs, all that kind of stuff to throw on the grill to make it super easy for your tailgate this weekend or just grilling while football's on your patio TV. So again, check out thebutchersmarkets.com. You got something?
Yeah, go to the Butcher's Market at Lake Boone Trail Friday and Saturday afternoon, 12 to 4, 12 to 5. You will see the Cheney brothers bull.
The truck.
Look at that.
That's pretty good. I like that.
It's going to be it's a grill.
That's pretty amazing.
It's going to be in the parking lot. That's Friday and Saturday over at Lake Boone Trail after 12 noon. And let's see what Kenneth says. Okay. They will have smoked sausages, chicken, ribs, and pork. Lots of our local vendors will be sampling too. If you guys are recording tomorrow, Kenneth, come on, man, get on our level here, knowing the schedule. Let the listeners know. So go out to the parking lot at Lake Boone Trail, where the Butcher's Market is. You will see that amazing grill, thanks to our friends at Cheney Brothers, and you'll have a chance to get all that great food. So go hit them up.
Most of the coaches who text you don't know when your schedule is.
I know.
Breeze Through. It's peak tailgate time. Go to the Breeze Through. They're conveniently located just outside all your favorite football stadiums. Very, very smart of our friends at Breeze Through. So check them out online at breezethrough.com. And you can get your beer, you can get your snacks. More importantly, you can get your ice. All that is available at Breeze Through. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline from ESPN, he's a Raleigh man who went to Tennessee. He is Ryan McGee. Ryan, what's going on, man?
I'm excited to get you guys, and I live in Charlotte, so this is like this triangular thing of my entire life. I wore my old school Charlotte Knights hat for you guys. The ballpark's right next to the stadium, so yeah, this is weird. This is super weird. I grew up huge State fan. Went to Tennessee. Went to Tennessee because it reminded me so much of State, honestly. And then and now they're coming to Charlotte. So what the hell?
Why is this not called the Ryan McGee Bowl at this point? You could put like a big Darth Vader helmet at the 50-yard line. I mean, let's tie it all together. Darth Vader holding Duke's Mayo. I mean, what more do you want?
And I'm hauling freight to get back for this thing. We're doing Marty and McGee in Lexington, Kentucky on Saturday morning, and then we'll do SEC Nation. South Carolina's at Kentucky is the first SEC game of the year. And then the only flight out of Lexington is not till 5 o'clock. And so I'll be landing in Charlotte and going straight to the stadium And
right.
so yeah, I'm excited about it. And I'm not working Saturday night. I'm just going. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Nice.
so it's I haven't done that in a while, so I'm excited about it.
Is that a Peerless Price jersey behind you?
No, all right. So that jersey is
No
from
love for the poll. All right, cool, man.
1982, and it belonged to some walk-on guy. And it was the when Johnny Majors in Tennessee beat Bear Bryant in his last year.
Oh,
Some guy had that jersey on and never played, but the equipment guy from Alabama from back then gave it to me because he didn't want it, and they used to do jersey trades. So that's and it's an old tearaway. Like that's an old school like
Earl
that
Campbell.
thing. That thing would stretch about 60 yards if you're trying to tackle whoever that was.
I love that. I love that. All right, man. Joe and I have talked about this a good chunk of the preseason when it comes to what NC State did to make over their offense, right? We go in to get Grayson McCall. They've added pieces around Casey Concepcion. They've tried to help out the run game. But I guess after what people saw from Tennessee against Western Kentucky and Chattanooga. I'm getting all my teams confused. It was Alabama who crushed Western Kentucky, right?
Yes.
Anyway, so they put it up, man. Like, no joke. Whereas NC State struggled against Western Carolina, I think there's been some fretting about whether or not NC State's offense will be able to keep up with what Tennessee seems to have dynamically. I just don't know if NC State really wanted to show anything against Western Carolina. I don't think it's a good read on the Wolfpack going into this game against the Vols. How do you see it?
No, I don't think it's a read at all. I mean, I wasn't there, and I saw very little of it. I mean, full disclosure, I love Grayson McCall. I think I told you guys this. I love him. You know, my very brief sideline reporter career was during COVID, and I was pressed into service at the last minute to do the legendary BYU Coastal Carolina game. Remember, the game was put together at the last minute, and it was game day, and the stadium, we're talking about our friends in South Carolina. The stadium was only supposed to have 5,000 people in it. It had at least 3 times that many.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the night Grayson McCall became a folk hero, and he grew up where I'm sitting in Charlotte. He grew up 15 minutes from where I'm sitting. I love that kid, but he's never going to be that. Like, he's never going to lead an offense that's going to get into a 59-54 shootout. He's not. I mean, you know, the way he plays football, the way he's always played football is he's going to score points, but he's going to make your offense sit on the bench for a while. That's just how he plays. That's why he gets hurt because of the way he plays. And so, I don't. If State's plan is to get into a shootout, which it's not going to be, that's a mistake because ever since he was throwing the football, the head coach at Tennessee has wanted you to get into a shootout with him because he knows he's going to beat you, Josh Heupel. And so, this kid. So behind the scenes, so I write a lot of these teases for ABC and ESPN, even if I don't voice them. In the open for the game on Saturday night, Peyton Manning is narrating, and I wrote the script. And what we wrote about was the coming in as the one that has been anointed as, okay, this is the quarterback that's going to get us over the hump. That was Peyton, right? I mean, it was Heath Schuler from the mountains of North Carolina years ago. And that's who Nico is now. And so everyone in Knoxville is a little overexcited because of performance against, UT Chattanooga. Even the coach at UT Chattanooga joked about it. This is one of the greatest measuring stick. So, yeah, that's a really long way of saying Tennessee's going to get their points. But Grayson McCall's job is going to be to keep Nico on the sideline as long as he can.
I think you buried the lead here. You got Peyton Manning reading your words, man.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, fellow. So we're both on the visitors board of the Tennessee College of Communications. The difference is I'm actually on the board. You see all the headshots. I haven't seen Peyton on a Zoom yet. So.
Was Peyton? Is that now? Here's my question: is Peyton Manning sending you back notes like, "Hey, Ryan, great writing career. I get all that stuff, but I would kind of write it this way." He
crossed out a line. I can tell you that for sure. I literally watched the first cut of it like 10 minutes ago. He lost 8. He cut out the first half of one line, and I won't tell you what it is but he kept the better half of the line. So yeah, there were notes. He's a broadcaster now, but I joke, but he teaches classes. Like, it's not
right.
He gets a little irritated when we promote him like he's a professor in the department now. But the reality is he teaches he teaches classes. He comes in and teaches classes once or twice a semester, which is, if you're a student at Tennessee, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Okay, take away the performance against Chattanooga. I thought Tennessee was going to be a lot better last year than they were. I think Tennessee fans looked at Joe Milton, and I love them all warning the Patriots about how great he's going to look in practice, and don't get your hopes up based on practice. I love all of that. Give me like a vibe check though of where Tennessee is, because they had the Hendon Hooker year in 22 where he gets hurt and they kind of fall apart at the end there of the season. The South Carolina loss was just stupid. And then they come into last year. I thought they really had a chance to be in the playoff last year. They end up being a disappointing 4-4 in the league, 9-4 overall. Where are they now though? Because Ia Maliava was a 5-star, can't miss, all these things. And you look at that frame, you look at that arm, and he looks every bit of the part, not only from the Chattanooga game, but that Iowa game, which I think maybe rekindled some things for the orange and white.
Yeah, I think, and I like Joe, but I don't know that Joe. I think Joe was built for the quarterback part of the job physically. I don't know that Joe was built for the CEO part of the job. If that makes any sense. I'm not saying he's not smart. He's plenty smart. What I'm saying is, I'm saying that there's more to it. It's like being a head football coach. The story that Mac Brown always tells about going to Texas and he's walking to practice and the helicopter lands to take him to the governor's wife's birthday party. Some guys are built for that. Some guys aren't. And I don't know that Joe Milton was built for all of that. Nico is. I mean, everything the conversation I've had with him, the conversations I've had with the coaches, all that, this is not, none of that phases him. Now I say that after 1 week, I say that after 2 games, but I really believe that. And so that's the difference. The vibe check is it's good. Last year didn't feel that way. I was at the season opener,
Virginia,
in Nashville. They played Virginia.
Yeah.
And it's Virginia. But it was the vibe check a year ago was a little uneasy. This year it's okay.
Hitting all of my gambling cards right now. That's how I knew they weren't the real deal.
Should I rename today's podcast?
When they
Giglio processes all of his gambling
when they
scars?
did not absolutely, now they did cover, but when they did not absolutely paste Virginia last year, I was like, they're in trouble.
Yep. And Tennessee fans, week 1 overreaction is like my favorite thing in college football. It is. Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. But Tennessee fans have always been the absolute leaders in the clubhouse on that deal. Always. I mean, it was like that when I was in school there a really, really long time ago. It's just how they are. And so, yes, now they think they're going to win the national championship. I have been surprised, and maybe it's just because people got burned last year. I've been surprised that in all the preseason polls and the big stack of magazines we all have, Tennessee's hovered around 16. And I believed, like State, I believed they should have received a lot more credit or a lot more due about they could crash the party, because the reality is Georgia's going to lose at least 1 game. I think they might lose 2. Their schedule's awful. Awful. Look at that schedule. And you can do that and still win the national championship, but that schedule, and it's not even about it's not even about
I think you broke up.
Yeah.
It's not
even about the teams that are ranked. Right. It's about when they play the teams that are ranked. Going to Kentucky.
You really think they're going to lose 2 football games?
I'm saying they could. I think they're definitely going to lose 1. Look at their schedule.
I can see one.
Got to go to Kentucky. Got Auburn the first week of October, as opposed to the end of the year. Got Tennessee sitting there in the middle of November. And those aren't the games everyone's talking about. Yeah. Look at it. I'm telling you, the schedule is awful.
Okay.
Hey, don't know if you know this. Georgia 46-0 against teams not named Alabama since the start of 2021.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But they've never had a schedule like this.
The other guy is working with you now. The only guy who's beating them,
he's your colleague now.
He's your guy.
He's your guy.
He's your colleague.
They've never had a schedule like the one they have this year. And it's not just about the teams that are ranked. It's about the Auburns and the Kentuckys and where they're tucked into that schedule at really, really not easy times. And I'm not saying they lose those games, but I'm saying you end up with a hell of a battle. They should have lost Auburn a year ago. You end up with a hell of a battle with Kentucky or a hell of a battle with Auburn, and then your reward is you got Texas next, or you got Georgia, or you got Alabama next. I'm just telling you, if they run this schedule undefeated, then they should get a bye into the round of 4, because they should get 2 byes because this schedule is awful.
West Coast Conference style basketball.
Yeah.
Gonzaga. No.
Yeah.
You just go to the
Do it.
final. You just
Yeah,
show
why
up.
not?
Fast forward. So Giglio and I were talking about this yesterday. I think Tennessee's a fascinating. The Tennessee NC State game is a fascinating look into how we talk about these things. You talk about week one overreactions. I thought one of the bigger overreactions was that the ACC might be a one-bid college football playoff conference. I think your colleague Heather Dinich had written that blurb on ESPN.com. I get it. It's week one overreactions. It's what we do. The ACC has been battling this perception issue, but Giglio kind of stumbled into a galaxy brain take yesterday.
In real time, it was great.
Where it's like, if NC State beats Tennessee and Tennessee doesn't necessarily have the year that everybody expects them to have, it'll be held against NC State, very similar to how Florida State and LSU played out over the course of a season last year.
Right.
Suddenly beating LSU wasn't as a big a deal as people made it out to be. On the flip side, though, a team like Tennessee, a team like Kentucky that plays Louisville, who should be good this year, those will be viewed as good wins for those SEC programs as they try to bolster their claim to be an at-large team in the college football playoff. Do you kind of see it that way too? Do you see that perception issue, or are we just making a big deal out of this, because it's early?
No, I mean, the story I always tell, I think I told it to Reese Davis this week on the College Game Day podcast. The story I always tell was, and you guys probably both there, ACC kickoff at Pinehurst, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when John Swofford was at the height of his powers, which, by the way, I'm tired of him getting banged on all the time. The deal he signed was the greatest deal anyone had ever signed when he signed it.
It was.
Yeah. But when Swofford called him to right off the top rope, first question, Big East is going to eat the ACC. And Swofford just kind of laughed like he did, and like he does, and he said, if we take care of our business in the cross-conference games week one and rivalry weekend, and we win our bowl games, all of this goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And within 6 months, the ACC had raided the Big East. Florida State was playing in the Rose Bowl for a national championship, and he's right. He was right immediately. And so, yeah, that's just it. I mean, but there's no question that the ACC does not receive the passes that other conferences do. The SEC had an awful week one. They just did. It was a bad week one. I was at the Florida Miami game. That was a statement game for two teams. One really good, one really bad. And so yeah, the ACC doesn't get the benefit of the doubt that everyone else, the other three do, and that's not fair. But it's how it is. I still have. The look you guys just gave me about Georgia is the look that I have been getting everywhere else in the world when I'm on these things and they say, give us a sleeper playoff pick, and I go NC State. And because no one thinks about them. I said, listen, it is what it is. Dorn's been there as long as he is. McCall is who he is. The schedule is what it is. If they just have a good showing in Charlotte against the team that I believe will be ranked all year in Tennessee, then that's not going to be held against them when they get to the end of the year. And so that's a really long way of saying, Heather's my sister. She is. I text with her all the time. We text first day of school when her kids go to school. My daughter goes to school. But the reality is I still think it's a two-team league. Like I think they get two teams in. But Florida State has completely blown everything apart. I think Miami has the chance to be really good. I don't have a lot of Mario Cristobal confidence. I have a lot of Cam Ward confidence.
Same.
I don't have any Mario Cristobal confidence.
Hey.
And it's still Miami, man. I mean, they're Texas, right? And they haven't done anything in a long time, and until they do it, I'm not going to believe. And so, and Florida's awful. So I don't know that what they did on Saturday was a playoff statement as much as it was them just announcing, all right, here I am. But Florida State changes everything because they're not going to the playoff. It's done. It's over. And so, now who does
watch
go
them win the league?
Yeah. But it gets weird too.
It's going to be weird. What's weird about Florida State, Ryan, is because the way their schedule plays out, they're going to be in last place of the ACC for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
it's going to take them a while to climb out of that, which is funny, but it might still be there for them.
But wouldn't it? So it's the four highest ranked conference champions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God,
the four highest ranked conference champions get the bye.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, it's not highest. It's not the Power Four champions. It's not the whatever. It's the highest four ranked conference champions. So if Florida State now pulls it out of their hat and they win the ACC and they're ranked 24th, and give me one.
App State
Boise,
beat
App
Clemson
State,
this week,
whomever,
and then
is
runs
sitting
the table.
14th. They're in.
Yeah.
And so it would be the most hashtag go ACC thing ever if Florida State now, with 2 conference losses, somehow manages to it'd be amazing. And
All
then
right,
they'll win their lawsuit and they'll go
no,
play Colorado in the Big 12.
they ain't winning the lawsuit. I mean, come on now. They signed that they signed that deal twice. Come on now. Any judge is going to look at that going, so now suddenly it's not good after you signed it twice? After you said
Man,
John
what
Falk had
awful-
the greatest deal effort?
You think about when everybody was here in Charlotte last December and they win and hey, it's great and we're going to the playoff and this is going to be awesome. And everything has sucked since. Everything.
Yeah.
Like it's all been awful. And
Yep.
so yeah, it's good times down there.
Yeah, man. And like I said the other day, I've been asking ACC fans to, as Joe put it, galvanize around something. I always thought it would be like to fight the perceptions against the SEC. I was wrong. Apparently, Florida State is the thing that can bring ACC people together because, man, have they enjoyed the first 2 weeks of the season. Hey, man, I need updates. You got Marty and McGee. You're gonna get on a plane and you're gonna make it there. Hopefully, how long is that trip from Lexington to?
It's short. It's super short. I mean, the flight's like, and normally there's like a 1 o'clock flight, and we haul butt to the airport.
Yeah,
and we're back in Charlotte. Usually, we're back in Charlotte by 2:15.
Sure.
But this year we're missing that midday flight. So now you're giving myself and Marty Smith 4 hours at the Bluegrass Airport. So I'm probably going to be Ubering to the stadium. Is what I'm leaving my truck at the airport. That's what I'm trying to say to you. We have so on Marty McGee Saturday morning. We have the CEO of Buffalo Trace is going to be on the show.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I have not eaten. We had a guy last year named Fred Minnick, and he's like the bourbon expert. And we're in Lexington, and it's 9:15 in the morning. It's freezing cold. I hadn't had anything to eat, and Fred Minnick brings like a $10,000 bottle of bourbon from his private stock, and I'm not even a bourbon drinker. I'm a rum guy. And we're sipping from these snifters or whatever. I take a gulp. I did the last half of the hour of the show completely hammered. I mean, I text my wife when the show's over with, oh my gosh, I hope nobody could tell. She goes, oh no, we could all tell. So,
what was the proof on that thing?
Yeah, a lot. It was literally, it was a $10,000 carafe of bourbon that he brought with him. And we all got drunk to the point that he's like, you guys can have this carafe. And then his mother-in-law calls like, that carafe's worth like $5,000. It's an heirloom. So anyway.
And Wright Thompson didn't crash the party once he found this thing out?
No, Wright. We always have Wright when we go to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
We did a show one time. This is when I want to get into a time machine and go back to Raleigh. I want to go back to Fred Old Elementary and tell myself this is going to happen one day. Me on a set with Archie Manning and Wright Thompson and Marty in the Grove, and no one's sober on TV. So yeah, there you go. God bless America. Boys.
Yeah, Ken, who's watching on YouTube right now. He's our resident bourbon guy. Is it the Double Eagle Rare 17-year-old? Is that what it's?
I think that's what it was. It was something that Fred brought. There's no label on it.
Oh, okay.
So it was literally in a carafe with like a big, like almost like a Bond villain, like crystal carafe, But Fred's the man. Fred, if you don't know Fred, Google him. He's amazing. But yeah, we were 2 sips and I was done. Like I think I'd had half a Pop-Tart that morning.
Hey, but you know what? Way to represent college football that way by having a Pop-Tart. All right, man. Ryan McGee. Hey, good luck this weekend getting to everything on time, and hopefully the Uber gets you there on time and you're good and liquored up for that Tennessee NC State game. And I hope both teams have fun so that you have fun, Ryan.
So real quick, I know you guys got my freshman year at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Fire and Ice rolled into town, and Corciani broke the NCAA assist record.
Okay.
And I was a student at Tennessee, but still had stayed in my heart because of the way I grown up. And only time I ever did it, I wore my Tennessee like hoodie, and underneath it I had on like an '83 national championship T-shirt because I had to at least support the team a little bit.
So what's the fit going to be on Saturday?
Well, I'm with my wife, who was born and raised in Knoxville, and I met in Knoxville, and no offense to State, she has no ties to it whatsoever. So
okay.
Maybe I might have some Wolfpack underwear I could wear. Maybe get away with that.
Do a sticker.
Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff over here, man.
Are y'all are coming, right?
I am not. I am on hockey dad duty this weekend. So I'll be doing the double thing. I'll be watching a kid play hockey, and I'll have a phone with me so I can watch the start of the game as well.
How you like these scars?
Here we
Zach
go.
Rogers. Does that name mean anything to you?
Zach Rogers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I won't be there.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
All right.
Anyway, we gotta go because you know who's coming up. It's funny. It's like actually a perfect day for you because your guy Manny Diaz is coming up next.
Oh, Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz, he and I sat shoulder to shoulder in screening as production assistants, and one of my all-time favorite people. So tell Manny, say this to Manny. Tell Manny before he gets ready for the game this weekend, he needs to spin 30 tapes. Just say that.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense to you, it will make sense to him.
It'll make perfect sense to him.
Spin 30 tapes, Manny.
I love it, man. I love it. Ryan, appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
So much football, so much apparel. It's all at Home Field. Go to homefieldapparel.com right now. Use that promo code OG24. You can save 15% off your order. We've been promoting the hoodies because the hoodies are top notch, but I feel like I'm going to have to splash in on our YouTube graphics some of those coaches' jackets because those look amazing. I always thought when I first saw them, I'm like, they look cool enough because they've got the logo on the left chest, right? But I didn't realize on the back they've got even more, and they look really, really sweet. And you can get one right now. If you haven't used the promo code yet, now's the time to do it because those coaches' jackets, I get it. They're a little on the pricey side. That's why we have OG24. Save 15% off your order.
I feel like I need a Texas Forever Coach Taylor
A clear eyes,
jacket,
full heart,
on the back.
can't lose.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, maybe we do that with the OG version of the coach's jacket.
I love it.
If you save money by using bugsbite.com, where you bundle and save on your pest treatments, your mosquito outdoor treatments, you can use that savings for the jacket.
For the
Just
jacket.
saying. It's all about corporate champion synergy here on Ovies and Giglio. So check out bugsbite.com. They're coming out to my house this week because, look, as nice as it's been over the last couple of days, we know that we're going to have that second summer. It's going to get gross. The bugs aren't going away completely yet. You can take care of them at bugsbite.com. And, of course, our friends over at Nature's Relief. Check out Nature's Relief Hempstore.com, RELEAF Hempstore.com. After 3 groove wagons from our auction draft, I ended up taking the 15 milligram
15.
CBD and CBD, right? Just to simmer it down. I slept amazing again last night. And
You're
you can get all these goodies at Nature's Relief. We're going to be there next Thursday for OG Sleek Fleet
Holly
Live.
Ridge off of Glenwood.
Are you going to be doing a
Old
hippie
school.
sip? Are you going to be falling asleep in the chair?
No, I won't do that to you this time.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. Please don't do that. So we'll see you there next week. We'll be doing OG Sleek Fleet Live at 2:00 from Nature's Relief. And who knows? Maybe we'll go to the O'Malley's after that.
Definitely.
Maybe we'll see you at the salad bar at the Peddler after that. I don't know.
Definitely.
Anything is possible.
The Giglio crawl. The OG crawl.
Anything is possible when we go to that Nature's Relief in that shopping center. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline is the head coach at Duke. He is Manny Diaz, starting off the season with a win. Now they take Northwestern on this Friday. Coach, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you guys for having me on.
So I got to imagine Mr. Defense was happy with the way the defense played against Elon to open up the season.
It was exciting to see. I will tell you, from all the times in my career when I've gone to a new school and you know, taken part of installing the scheme, it normally takes, you know, 5 to 6 weeks for the guys to really trust it and let it go, and to see the TFLs and the sacks. Like my first game at Penn State, I'm not sure we had a tackle for loss. And I was in a very sad state. To watch us play that first game kind of showed what makes these kids so special. They really are coachable, and they really want to do it the way you coach them. And to their credit, they didn't do everything right, but what they did do is they went, and they didn't sit around. They attacked, and And now I think they see the results, and not that you'll get those numbers every week, but they understand how the defense is designed.
Yeah, giving up 140 yards. That's kind of hard to do at 1974, let alone 2024. So well done there. When you go back and look at it, obviously Vincent Anthony had a pair of sacks for you, but was there someone else, or was it Vincent himself who you thought had a really good game? Are you one of those guys you try to find like the esoteric one? Like, no, actually the guy who set all the screens, that's the guy who basketball coaches love to do that, or were you like,
Yeah.
nah, dude, Vincent had 2 sacks, man. He was really good.
No, actually, it was important for Vincent to have 2 sacks because we felt like watching him develop all offseason that he could be a guy that could really have a big year for us. And Wes Williams, I think also had a sack. And we love Wes, but really watching VJ develop in this scheme over the last 8 months, I wasn't surprised to see what happened. You never know. You can always play great and not get rewarded with the numbers on defense, but probably the basketball coach answer that you were joking about is that what I'm just happy about is that our TFLs and our sacks were spread out over so many people. That has actually been a characteristic of this defense over the years. It's not just one guy. It's sort of everybody eats. And when you have that, it's good for morale. It's good for everybody understand that if everyone just does their job, what we kind of say is the ball finds you. If you're just where you're supposed to be stationed in this scheme, and the ball finds you, tackle it, and if you do, it'll probably be behind the line of scrimmage, and that's normally a good thing for us.
A little bit more on the Elon game before we get into this week's opponent, Northwestern. Friday night, you guys go up to Northwestern. I'm sure you've already seen the pictures of the stadium, so I'm sure you're looking forward to that. But I thought Malik Murphy, obviously a lot of attention on him coming from Texas. Obviously, that's a high-profile get for you guys. But he played well. I don't know if people wanted fireworks and lollipops and everything else, but 291 yards. There was the one interception, but I thought for the most part, he probably did what you wanted him to do.
Yeah, if we're no big dealing 290 yards passing or whatever you said it was, I mean, that means we've got a pretty good standard.
Sure.
No, I thought the best part was Malik was in control the whole night, even on the sideline when we weren't scoring early. Never got just out of his flow and out of his game. Watching the film, I mean, there's a lot of meat on that bone. I mean, we were inches away from some really, really big plays, and we consider those layups. Elon gave us some throws down the field, and if you give it to us, we're going to take them. And he put the ball pretty much right there a few times. We could have made some tougher catches, I think, to help us and help him as well. But I thought in the intermediate game, I mean, he was hitting guys in the face mask. I mean, his accuracy was really, really outstanding. So for game one in this system, I was really proud of the way that he played.
Manny Diaz joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Northwestern is the opponent. That's just back in the Big Ten, just like that. One game, and we're already game planning for a team that you've seen before, right? Easy peasy, right?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. We played Northwestern the last 2 years at Penn State, and then, of course, Duke played Northwestern the last 2 years. But one of the things we had to explain to our guys is this is a very different team mentality-wise than this team limped out of Duke a year ago, 1-2, and losers of 13 out of 15. And since that day, they're 8-3. We went, and then one of those losses was to us at Penn State 2 weeks later. Since that day, they're 7-2. They've won 7 out of 9. They've won 5 in a row. So they have flipped the switch, and they have learned how to win games. Specifically, they learned how to win close games. They're 6-1 in one possession games in that time frame. So expect it to be exactly that way. You know what I mean? And so you've got to hold your nerve. You got to be patient, and you have to understand the plays that's going to come down to more than likely in the last 4 minutes.
One thing I've always been curious about with Duke and in all the years that Joe and I have been here, the constant lament about Duke is offensive and defensive line play. It's just a byproduct of where Duke is academically, the kids that you recruit, small private school versus a large school, all those kinds of things. And given your various stops and going up against a Big Ten team that understands what they have to do in that conference, where do you see Duke's line at this point, and what either needs work or the differences of what you were working with now at Duke versus what you were working with at Penn State and other stops?
We'll find out, right? I mean, this will be a great challenge, which is why you schedule these games and what the season's about. I mean, you find out where you're at and you have a chance to improve it and get better. We lost a lot of old guys. Duke lost a lot of older guys off of both lines of scrimmage a year ago. And luckily through the portal, we do have the ability to We had ability to get old again, certainly on the offensive line. I think we brought in 152 starts on the offensive line. Maybe not all at the ACC level, but even a guy like Bruno Fino, who was at UCLA starting at left tackle for them, that now starts for us at left tackle. So you didn't replace a senior with a freshman or a true sophomore or something like that. Same thing bringing a guy like Kendi Charles from Liberty on our defensive line. That really helped with some of the departures we had. But it'll be a heck of a challenge. Northwestern's strength of their team for sure is their defensive line. And we got to run the ball better than we ran it a week ago. Now, Elon had a lot to say of that. They blitzed a lot and put a lot of guys around our run game, which opened up a lot of the yards down the field. But Northwestern's the opposite. They're going to keep their secondary back. They're going to force you to grind it down the field. I'm also going to say I really feel like, having played against Duke a lot in the ACC through the years, Cut's best teams had outstanding offensive lines and defensive lines as well. So I do think this school in our first cycle here, I do think you can attract O linemen and D linemen that are drawn to what Duke is on and off the field and be the foundation of your football team.
There's a lot of talk this week about, what the ACC didn't do out of the league. I haven't heard much talk about Carolina beating Minnesota, though. And now you have a chance to add to that with a win. I think the Big Ten only had one loss last week, and it was Minnesota's loss to Carolina. So do you I know it's new for you and you're worried about Duke primarily, but do you look at this as a chance to kind of chalk one up for the ACC in these type of matchups where you're taking on the Big Ten?
Yeah, of course. I mean, these games are important. I mean, I think to your point, everybody overblows the narrative of small sample size. I mean, the NFL starts this weekend. If the AFC West, went 3-0 against the NFC Central this weekend, people wouldn't freak out and have, a whole segment on First Take about it. But that's what we do in college football. And what we don't know is we just don't know. It's like we said, who knows how good Georgia Tech is, right? Who knows how good Boston College is? They look pretty damn good, and I go back to sitting on my couch in State College or in State College a year ago watching Duke beat Clemson. And was that because Clemson wasn't any good, or was that because Duke had a hell of a team? Duke looked like a really good team to me that night. And guess what? They were a really good team. So, it's always how we want to write the headline and how we want to write the stories. But this is why we play the games, right? It's unpredictable. And guess what? In this era of transfer portal and NIL and all stuff, it's going to become more unpredictable. And we act surprised. We've completely shaken, kicked the anthill, and then we're stunned at the ants running all over the place. I'll be damned. Look at all that's happening.
That's the beauty of college football. We do love to engage in some overreactions and those kinds of things. Although I am curious, I love picking your brain on this stuff. Because speaking of the overreactions, we saw this happen at Florida State. We've seen it happen at Clemson. On the Florida State side, it's, well, this is what happens when all you do is rely on transfers. And then over on the Clemson side, it's like, well, they don't take any transfers. Well, which one is it? And I get that it's all a balance. And you referenced it in what you're trying to do at Duke and kind of pick your spots. And now that you're the head coach of this, how do you view that? Is it development? Is it finding who your guys are, having them come through your system, and then finding places to augment what you already have through the transfer portal? I feel like everybody's kind of overreacting one way or the other and how the transfer portal works for any individual team.
It's funny you pointed that out. I actually had a laugh at that earlier today. You'd almost put two headlines side by side, that one team, is getting it wrong because they're doing it one way, and then the exact opposite.
Right.
We have a very distinct way we have to do it here at Duke. We have to be a developmental program, but our superpower is who the school attracts, right? And in the era of basically unfettered free agency, the young men and their families who are capable of getting into Duke and want to come to Duke usually want to graduate from Duke. So we have the ability where we can say, hey, if they come here, we're going to have these guys, there's a real good chance we're going to have them for 4 years and can really develop them. In the meantime, we can supplement that in the portal. We are a very attractive destination for people who want to graduate from many of our prestigious grad programs. Certainly our business school is a big sell. Mm-hmm. So, we're able to add guys from Ivy Leagues who have a fifth year, schools like Holy Cross, Lafayette. Again, when you add a guard who's 22, 23 years old and has 34 career starts, that's going to mean something more so than adding replacing a senior with a redshirt freshman who's 19 and has never been step foot in a college football game. So we have the ability to do it both ways, but we will always, the foundation of our program will always be through our high school recruiting.
Yeah, it's a little different than your counterparts over in the basketball office where you can get a 17-year-old and build around him. You know, everything is in
But that's-
basketball. In basketball, a 17-year-old can really change the game. In football, it's not really the case, though, is it?
No, that's always been the difference between the two sports.
Yeah.
One of the guys you got out of the portal. I apologize, Coach. I would have asked you about this at the kickoff. There's no way for you to know this. New Mexico State's one of my favorite teams. When I saw Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt beating Virginia Tech, I'm like, now where do I know that name? New Mexico State was really good last year.
Right.
You have their running back in Star Thomas. Tell us a little bit about him, because I know he got some carries in the last game, but that feels like a pretty good little piece there. Obviously, everyone wants to talk about Malik, but Star's got a chance to really help you this year, doesn't he?
Yeah, same example. You know, we lost age, right? We had a running back transfer, and so you can replace that with very, very inexperienced players. We just happen to be thin in that room anyway, and that, you know, every play in that room ends with a collision, right? Pass blocking or getting tackled. To be able to get a guy of Star's caliber was a big get for us. Watched him, you know, playing with New Mexico State. Some really, really big runs against Auburn last year in that matchup. So we felt like he was a guy that could really add something to us, and he's done it. And again, when you talk about age at running back, it's not just when they have the ball in their hands. It's how they play without the ball, pass protection, understanding blitz pickup, knowing where pressure's coming from. That usually just come in with experience.
Manny Diaz, Duke head football coach. Appreciate the time as always. Best of luck this weekend.
Oh, the stadium though. You went to plain old Ryan Field last year. I mean, that's the one of the least interesting places in all of the Big Ten.
It's the water feature.
Now this year you get to go to the temporary spot on the water. What do you think?
Well, unfortunately, the TV networks they turned the light off. We're playing at night, so you're gonna have to, you know, hard time seeing the lake at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
But no, well, we're gonna roll by there tomorrow, day before the game, and just see it, just so we're not like we're on a sightseeing mission on game day.
Distracted by the Sailors. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been there, and I keep using the line from Hoosiers. You know, we'll measure the goalpost. It'll be, you know, 10 feet tall, and the field will be 100 yards within the goal line. So that ideally when we get there the next day, it's just whatever. Let's get ready for a game as we do, and just get ready to go play ball.
Did you do that with the Devil's Deck and the DJ and all that stuff at Wallace Wade? And there's all this new stuff that's going up at Wallace Wade. So
the guys were impressed with the Devil's Deck, and it was really outstanding to see it in use in game one.
One of these days, I'm going to convince Duke to let me DJ one of these days. It's gonna be all 90s, all 90s.
You need a cool name though. Like that's the whole thing. Like all the DJs have like.
Yeah, man. I mean, when I was at NC State, I was at WKNC, the college radio station. I just went by Joe. It was really original DJ name. I'm gonna have to come. That's very pathetic for me.
It is.
For a South Florida kid too.
Yeah. Maybe Mr. Worldwide was right there for you.
I know.
Mr. 305 was right there.
Pitbull was right there, man. It is what it is. Shout out to
There's
DJ.
definitely a shortage of DJs in South Florida. So
Yeah. They're all on Power 96. If that station even still exists. Anyway, Manny Diaz, head coach Duke. We appreciate the time. We'll talk to you later.
My pleasure, guys. Have a good day.
It would help if I put my mic back on.
I'm embarrassed for you. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Why are you embarrassed for me?
How did you not have a DJ name in your youth? I'm not saying now, but I'm saying Mr. Johnny fucking Talk Radio. You weren't rubbing one out in your bedroom over like, here's my DJ name. Here's my radio name when I grow up. Come on, man.
No, I never had one.
Come on.
The only mistake I ever made, if I ever made a mistake in this business,
not while that's happening.
I hope people. I know people watching on YouTube know that I was being self-deprecating. I hope
Johnny Cincinnati, Johnny Fever.
No,
you're too young for that, though.
No, I'm too young for that. The only mistake that I made in terms of on-air presentation was that I should have just gone with my legal middle name instead of the Americanized Joe.
Okay.
I should have gone for diversity purposes, Jose Ovies instead of Joe Ovies. And that really would have sold, because nobody knows what Ovies is. It's not like an immediate.
I got you.
It's not like, for instance,
you're not going to see that and go, oh, he's Cuban.
He's a Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
Right. Because let me tell you, I've gotten them all in terms of like, are you Mexican? Are you Guatemalan? Are you from the Dominican? Are you Puerto Rican?
Specific Guatemalan.
Oh yeah, I've gotten it all, man. I really have. Oh, dude.
It's oddly specific.
Usually we do a trauma dump during home field. We're doing it during Roback today, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah,
I got a great Roback story for you too.
Yeah, so use the promo code Roback. Go to roback.com, use the promo code OG20. Dude, I've gotten everything from
Guatemalan.
Oh yeah. I'm vaguely
I gotta do some Googles.
So
on
you met neighbor Rick, right?
Yeah.
At the podcast festival. Yeah. Neighbor Rick and I share like this vaguely ethnic aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Where we could be anything. We're ethnic tofu.
Yeah.
The difference is like I know what my deal is. My parents came from Cuba, and it all goes all the way back to Spain, right? Rick's from like Charlotte. There's no backstory. They've been in North Carolina since like the 1700s. I'm sure he has some Native American somewhere in there that gives him that vaguely ethnic look. But no, he's just American as hell, coming from North Carolina, right? But yeah, man, I got
my Central American geography is embarrassingly low and bad. I mean, like I'm obviously I know where Panama is.
Yeah,
that's it.
My three favorite things have been in all time, right? There was somebody I used to work with at Capital Broadcasting. On her last day, because she was not in danger of an HR violation, asked me, "Hey, are you Egyptian?" I went, "Excuse me, that's a first." Egyptian. I went, "No, Cuban." She's like, "Oh, okay, because I'm Egyptian and you look like a lot of people that I know." I'm like, "Oh, okay, got it, cool, whatever." Because I know it's like a faux pas to like ask people like where they're from at work. Fine, whatever. There was a trip down to Florida when the kids were younger, and we used to do the thing where we'd stay at Egyptian jerky. I want to channel the jerky boys there. I'm not the Egyptian magician, okay? No, so there was a trip that we did down to Florida, and when the kids were younger, we would break up the trip to Florida over 2 days. We would typically stay in Savannah. It was like an excuse to go to Savannah, check out a restaurant, that kind of thing, right? So we pulled up to a Holiday Inn, and the guy is taking the bags out of the car, and he stops himself. He goes, "Hey, man, do you mind if I ask you a question?" I'm just like, I got no idea where this is coming from. He goes, "Are you Lebanese?" Lebanese.
Oh, okay.
That's another new one. Okay, I get it. And I go, no, Cuban. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm like, "No, it's okay, man. I've gotten Italian, I've gotten Greek. I mean, Dimitri and I could be brothers for all I know, right? I've gotten all that stuff, right?" I go, "No, it's all good." He's like, "No, you look just like my brother-in-law." Cool, got it. He's Lebanese. Okay, cool, got it. And then there's my other favorite. Am I Jewish?
Oh, because you spent time in the Boca.
I don't know if it's because of Boca. I don't know what it is that gets, maybe because I've gone to, it's going to sound stupid. I have a lot of friends who are Jewish. I legitimately do.
Right.
I actually do have a lot of friends.
Kind of how you grew up.
Right. So, and maybe it's because I've gone to a variety of Jewish events, bar mitzvahs, seders. Like, I mean, I've gone to a lot of those events. And I always like to joke that Catholics and Jews share one thing in common and what they can bond over, and that is guilt. Boy, oh boy, do we do guilt really well.
I just pulled up the only Egyptian I know, Anwar Sadat. I don't see it, Joe. I don't see it.
Not me. Yeah, buddy, I've gotten it all, man.
I don't see it.
I have gotten it all. From Ken, DJ Tony Montana would have been lit.
See?
Yeah, that's a good point. Armenia. That's I could see that one. I could see that one. Anyway, Roback. Use the promo code OG20. Save 20% off your order.
Do me a favor. Play the lightning round version of Giglio's Robacking Up for me.
Hold on a second. Let me go over to the brand. I've added so much stuff. I'll give you so much scrolling.
Yeah,
now.
I'll give you the backstory.
Topic, stack it up. Giglio's Robacking Up. Well, I know what we'll do. A lightning round.
Yeah. So our guy Ben from Roback had texted me yesterday. Wanted to know if we were. They're going to be at the golf tournament. Right. So I've been trying to work with them about like, hey man, I think once people just try your stuff on or even feel it, they're going to buy it.
Totally get that.
So I want to help facilitate anything that we can do legally tax laws, all those other things. Like if there's something we can do to help Roback, I want to do that at the golf tournament. So,
Access.
yeah. So we've been texting about that. Right. And then they're going to be down at Tennessee State game in Charlotte. So he's like, hey, you're going to be in Charlotte? I was like, no. And then he goes, hey man, also, by the way, does Roback need a jingle? Is that a new requirement for all of your corporate champions? And I said, listen, Ben, we have the Green Day knockoff. Giglio's Robacking up. I go, well, let's don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Okay. We're here for you, but don't be greedy.
Fair enough. So go to roback.com, use that promo code OG20. Operation Stop Being a French Fry has commenced.
You're there, huh?
I am there. I went to Happy and Hail for lunch today.
Brought to you by Happy and Hail.
I don't know why this keeps happening.
Let's take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hail.
Okay, that's much better. I went and got. They had a new like Fiesta Bowl special.
Not the football game.
Not that one, but it was like I think I want to say Tyler soft launched that with us when we were at Happy and Hail.
You got to keep your head on a swivel because when you get over there too, they have a bowl of the month.
Yeah, that's the bowl of the month.
So when you go, you'll see there's a deal on that.
It's $9.99.
Yep, there's a deal on that.
I think he soft launched that with us.
Just have to have your head on a swivel because they have a lot of great different options.
They do.
That's what I would just say.
I went with the Bueno Bowl like I typically do because that just hits the spot every single time. And Kelly, I think, ended up having the kale, the salad.
Yeah.
The buffalo kale, right? Anyway, so Operation Stop Being a French Fry has commenced. Went to Happy and Hail. Got
buffalo
some good
cauliflower.
Got some good clean eating inside. So that's what it's all about. And speaking of Operation Stop Being a French Fry, ladies and gentlemen, I might be going to O2 Fitness after today's show.
I got great news for you. Want to hit a sounder before you hit that sounder?
Fitness, so much more than a gym.
It's amateur hour over here with you and these buttons. Hit a breaking news sounder before you.
I don't have a breaking.
Yeah, you do. You have like a. All right, never mind. Jeez. No, that's always your default too.
I don't know. No, that's just a default music bed. I don't know what is in here.
Breaking news.
There it is. Thank you.
That's the meeting one.
can work as both.
Large robot.
Time. No. Breaking news.
Monday, I have my first physical therapy session with our friends at O2 Fitness. The Herkamajerk. Operation Herkamajerk is in full effect.
Love
Operation Wean Giglio off of Icy Hot. Operation Save Giglio. The skin on Giglio's neck commences on Monday. Thanks to our friends at O2 Fitness, because yes, they are more than a gym. They have physical therapy that you can go and get yourself fixed. A lot of people have this idea, Joe. They go, you know what? This is me. I'm completely guilty of this. My neck is screwed up. You know what? I'm going to go get acupuncture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go, get a massage. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go try that. And sometimes you got to use Occam's razor here and just say, what's the obvious answer here? Physical therapy. So here we go. Operation Herkamajerk commences Monday at O2 Fitness. Why? Because they're more than a gym.
When I was Happy and Hail, talk about corporate champion synergy. Not only did they have a gym, they got the physical therapy, but they have Loop Nutrition. And they have a little QR code when you go to Happy and Hail that ties in Loop Nutrition with Happy and Hail to help you out on your nutrition goals.
Well, they are corporate, actual corporate brethren,
yes.
Sisters, siblings, corporate siblings.
They're related. Yep. We'll just leave it at that. They're related. So go to o2fitnessclubs.com to find out more. We appreciate them being a corporate champion. Now let's do the lightning round for real, for real.
It's the lightning round. The lightning round.
Zeus now, right?
Yeah, now that you pointed out the bra on Zeus. It's too late. I already spent 8 credits on it. So maybe the bra on dude. I don't know. I mean, maybe nipples on YouTube or something that you can't see.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
So maybe they didn't like that. I don't know. So look, it was AI generated. I can't really ask for much more than that. So anyway, let's get in the lightning round. I have a Boeing.
RX is like they make rub-on Tylenol. Yeah, man. Like, come on, man. I got like my whole neck here today. Yeah, man. I know, buddy.
You do have it all,
You're
man.
not
You do have it all. It's ridiculous.
You're not breaking news.
Giglio rubbing one on in the bedroom while Ovies is rubbing one out on his DJ name. It's that kind of day, folks. It's that kind of day. So I got an update on the Boeing.
Kids.
I got an update on the Boeing capsule. David texted me. We were in the middle of doing our draft.
Oh,
yesterday,
yeah.
And he texted me at 8:21 last night, and he just goes, "My wife is mad that Joe wants an Iowa jacket because she's from Iowa." And I was like,
"Oh, she be mad. She likes Iowa State."
I think it's I think it's Iowa State.
Okay.
I think they're in Iowa State. I think. I can't remember which Iowa team they're into. And I just texted him back. I'm like, "Oh, I see where you are in the podcast. You'll be mad soon." He's like, "Because you called me a rocket scientist?" I'm like, no, I'm just being silly with that. He goes, "Oh, just got to the part." I'm just reading from my brother here. Just got to that part. That entire segment hurt me. He uses the sarcasm font. "Oh, they're stuck. Bro, they have supplies. They'll be fine." It's like if you have an Uber, the Uber cancels on you and you got to wait another 30 minutes, but make it like a few months. It's all good. They'll be fine. They have supplies. I'm like, okay. Fine. So be it. Anyway. My brother gets a little touchy about those things, understandably. So that's an update on the Boeing capsule. Just thought everybody would like to know.
Lightning round.
I feel like we should probably do some sort of like App State, ECU, Charlotte corner. Maybe that's a new segment we kind of do because App State's got a big game against Clemson on Saturday, and Clemson's coming off a loss to Georgia. And based on stats and history, Clemson doesn't do so hot coming off of losses to Georgia, especially after they got smashed that way. And on top of that, Dabo seems to very much be in his feelings right now. This was from the Fox affiliate in Greenville, South Carolina. Dabo is not really in the mood for what is usually a very accommodating media contingent at Clemson.
Y'all gonna write crap. Y'all gonna write terrible stuff. And when we do great, y'all gonna write great stuff. That's okay. I mean, everybody's got a job to do. It's okay. That's okay. I don't take it personal. I don't read it or listen to it. That doesn't affect me. I love my job. I love what I do. I love all of it. And y'all can't change that. Nothing you can write, nothing you can say can change that. I love what I do. I love these kids. I love my purpose in life. And my life is on a foundation that doesn't change. It just doesn't. And, so hopefully that's something that our kids learn as they go through, moments like this, that they can learn how to, handle adversity, learn how to handle success, because you're gonna have both in life.
Okay. I don't know the question that brought that on, other than possibly, what do you got to work on? Where are you as a program?
It could be a block out the noise type of deal.
Okay.
Like, how do you block out the noise type of?
That's fine. I don't read what you write. That's crap. They all read what you write. They all listen. This is why they don't do the calls.
Well,
anymore.
I'll say this.
Okay.
They at least have somebody read what you do.
Fair.
So that then they can pass along the objectionable parts.
Yes.
And say, hey, just so you know.
Well, look, all I know is that when coaches say I don't read any of that stuff, they sure do know when something negative has been said about them. And I guess, yes, to your point, they have somebody on staff.
They have people on the staff
that make sure they can pull that. I always like to tell that story about Roy Williams knowing names and nicknames of certain radio hosts, even though he never listened to sports talk radio, or Tom O'Brien, using a clip about, something that was said. Somehow that gets back to him. How does that work out? So they always know these types of things. But the reason why I bring up this clip is that this is just one game, and I think most people look objectively at what happened between Georgia and Clemson outside of the Paul Feinbaums of the world and go, yeah, man, it's freaking Georgia. I mean, the face you gave Ryan McGee when he said, hey, they could lose 2 games this year, we're like, come on, Ryan. So it's not about Georgia. If I'm Clemson, I'm just kind of like, look, that's the top of the heap right now, but we can get better as the season goes on, and we still have a chance to make the college football playoff. His whole like, I'm great. That's like wearing a shirt, like saying, don't ask me about how I'm really in a bad mood today. Please, you're asking to be about, how your bad mood is going.
I think they should probably thank the schedule maker right now. Because if this game was played at noon, that's got Giant Killer app written all fucking over it.
But it's not.
This game's at 8p. And as someone who has been to 6 games at Clemson, but only 1 at 8p, it's a whole lot different in that place at 8p. I'm just telling you, it's a whole lot different in that place at 8p. All right. It's not Greenville. It's not Greenville, America.
No.
At 8p. I mean, nobody's Greenville, America at 8p, but it's pretty fucking close. Okay. Like, so 8p, that's tough.
Gotcha.
That's tough. But I still like my apps and those points. Give me those 17 points.
We've got a lot to get to. Woo. It's a lightning round.
Oh, one other note about Clemson. I completely forgot to bring this up from Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer's always, when Shane Beamer has nothing else going on in his life, he can at least point at Clemson and laugh because it's not like South Carolina's really going anywhere with Shane Beamer. But this was pointed out by Chapel Fowler over at the State. Shane Beamer says he gets what Dabo is doing on the call-in show, the new approach, but he'll keep taking live calls from fans on his radio show. Quote, if they think I'm doing a crappy job, they've got every right to call in and question what we're doing. I'm impressed with Shane Beamer turning that call-ins to a radio show into a Not Like Us. I really do appreciate that. Speaking of Not Like Us, Charlotte is not like us when Biff comes to town and those cutoffs. I was talking to Alex, who was doing the draft with us last night. Yeah. He's a Charlotte guy. I asked him, like, so what do you think? He's like, yeah, I'll be there, but I ain't expecting much. I guess most people are not expecting much out of this Carolina Charlotte game, other than tweaking 22. Some things. What's the number? 22?
Carolina's a home 22 favorite. We know what happens when Carolina's a significant double digit.
Not the Charlotte, though.
I'm not saying they're going to lose the football game. I'm just saying you got to be a little bit of caveat emptor here now.
Fair enough. ECU Old Dominion as we do our little App State
so
Charlotte
James
ECU corner.
Vito will be there for Hoist the Colors. Jessica Giglio, who is from Norfolk. Maury Commodore will be there. Her and Joe Smith, pride of the Maury Commodores. So they're looking forward to that trip to Norfolk. They're going up tomorrow. That's a big game for ECU. It's a big game early in the season, and you're scoffing if you're State or someone else and go, ha ha ha. No. ODU just played South Carolina, played them really well, but this is a confidence game for ECU after only winning 2 games last year. You go up there, you play the type of game you just had with Norfolk State, where Garcia's slinging it around. Their defense is legit. ECU's defense is legit. Even last year, that was not a question.
Yeah.
So I do think they're going to have to lean on that defense a little bit, but I like the way that they played. They were very aggressive in their opener. This is a tight game. This is going to be a tight game, close game, and this is the kind of game that could make or break their season.
Earlier, I mentioned how I'm kind of over Dan Campbell. I thought it was cute and adorable when he wanted to rip off cartilage from your face and your knees and eat you and, not have any legs while they were beating you. Now he's doing commercials for Applebee's.
And there's no point in adding the right talent without the right leadership.
We're more than servers. Feel the energy coursing through your veins.
Which is why Applebee's brought in Coach Dan Campbell to take the coveted role of assistant shift manager.
Now that I'm on this team, we're going to have a different level of production. I move faster than that.
Bringing the level of intensity that is as inspiring as it is feared.
I'm all about friendly competition in the workplace.
Anything else?
I'm coming for you, Craig. Next month, this is my wall. We're going to be working 7 days a week. But yeah, we're about to turn this thing up.
Okay. I got a question about Dan Campbell at Applebee's.
Wait, why are you over Dan Campbell? That was fun.
It's not fun.
That was absolutely fun.
Where were the Dollaritas?
I mean, you can't necessarily show that in a national ad. We can do whatever we want on this YouTube.
I want to see Dan Campbell.
But you can't do that in a national ad.
Dan Campbell's the guy who is talking about how he's doing red eyes and dumping Red Bull into his coffee at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's take it to the next level. How is he not turning the Dollarita into his own, like, customized concoction of taking a Dollarita and a Red Bull? Make your own Four Loko at Applebee's, man.
I know. I think you're going to look back at this one and be like, no, man, you were an early mover on Dan Campbell. You can't give up on him now.
But I can also sell. No, I can sell when it's time to sell.
It's on the cusp.
I know. That's the problem. It's Detroit we're talking about. All right? Flying a little too close to the sun. A little too close to the sun.
If home field knows what's good for them, they go get that Detroit Lions Axel Foley jacket.
Ooh,
they'd sell a few of those.
I'd buy that, actually. So, look, all I'm saying is Dan Campbell is really about that life. You'd be chugging $6 Ritas with Red Bull and Red Eyes combined in there, and he'd be, all jacked up, coming at you like a spider monkey. That's what I want to see out of Dan Campbell. That's all I'm saying.
We've got a lot to get to. Woo. It's a lightning round.
Yesterday, we got a question about the White Sox and potentially moving to North Carolina as a MLB team, right?
Yeah, maybe we should just lean in, do it.
No, you don't want this. Why do you want this team?
Yeah.
As you sent me this tweet, the White Sox need to be banned from playing baseball for the rest of the season, but not because of these things are on purpose. It's like when you take a senior citizen's driver's license away. They are incompetent to the point where they are a danger to others. I've not seen this clip. And that is unfortunate. Hitting, I don't know who this Baltimore Oriole is, getting hit in the head. But goodness,
hit in the ear.
In the ear. Goodness gracious. He's even got the ear protector on. He still gets hit. That is unfortunate. That's probably enough MLB highlights before YouTube flags me for that. But look, all I ask is, if you want MLB expansion, cool, I get it. But why do you want that crap? Get a fresh team.
You could have said the same thing in 1995 or 6 about the Hartford Whalers.
Okay. It took a long time, didn't it?
Yeah.
It took a long time. I don't think it's
not really.
There were 2 Stanley Cups and
come on.
There were 2 Stanley Cup appearances in there. So maybe
you're slipping. Come on.
Maybe I'm a little off on that.
It's a lightning round. It's the lightning round.
All right, finally, the Chiefs are opening things up tonight against the Baltimore Ravens. They've already taken an L as Chiefsaholic was sentenced to prison time. You're probably wondering, okay, who is Chiefsaholic? Why is he going to jail for 17 years? Chiefsaholic is a.k.a. Xavier Babudar. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. He entered a plea deal back in February in which he admitted to stealing more than $800,000 in 11 robberies across 7 states and laundering those proceeds through casinos. He pled guilty to 1 count of bank robbery, 1 count of money laundering, and 1 count of transporting stolen property across state lines. Dressed head to toe in a gray wolf suit, Chiefsaholic became a staple at Chiefs games for years and was adored by fans at Arrowhead Stadium on social media, where he crafted a persona of a hardworking, generous bachelor.
Why did he have to launder the money?
I mean, I guess to lose track of the cash, right? Because again, not that I'm in the bank robbery business, but based on any movie that I've seen, those bills are marked, are they not?
I don't know why you would have to launder your stolen money. Why would you present yourself as legitimate if you were stealing something? You just use cash.
No, what I'm saying is he robbed. If I know the chain of command here, or just the evidence chain. If you steal money from a bank, those are marked so they can track the dollars that have been stolen from the bank. So you launder them.
No matter where you use them, you're saying, okay.
So you launder them so the traceability of the cash goes away, and it's now just in circulation somewhere in a casino.
You just put it in a coffee can in the yard, like you're down south, man, like you're in Brazil. Come on.
Just do it like an old Cuban grandmother and take a ceiling tile, move it, stash it somewhere.
Bookcase, behind the bookcase.
In the mattress, any number of those things.
Man, come on.
Any number of those things. Don't get any ideas, though. I saw that story, and my first 2 thoughts was, How did a guy think he was going to get away with it while he was wearing the exact getup to football games while he was robbing banks? That would be the equivalent.
I have a really good laundering scheme, potentially. It involves the NCAA and collectives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That might work out.
I mean,
but like for
it's
me,
legal.
that would be like Fireman Ed robbing banks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Dolphin Denny, if he's still with us. I don't know if
The
Dolphin
guy in the
Denny's-
barrel for the Broncos.
Yeah, that guy. Like he
Yeah.
shows up to rob banks and you're thinking, wait, he's not really that stupid, is he?
In the barrel.
In the barrel?
But they're recognizable.
I just-
Chiefsaholic, if he had the wolf head on, maybe it is the year of the wolf.
This would actually go against that if you think about it. Guy's actually doing jail time. Not really the year of the wolf.
Maybe that's the bookmark. Now we know, right? Now we know the year of the wolf is over.
Maybe that's the case. Big thanks to Matt Davis over at State Farm. Hung out with Matt Davis last night at the Joe Wagon draft,
I think
auction
Matt
draft.
got the best team, to be perfectly honest with you.
Matt was sitting there on all of his auction cash for like the longest time. It's
He did-
almost like
he
he
did
knew how
well.
to, it's almost like he knew how to save money for himself and he can save money for you.
He applied all of his insurance
about that?
principles.
How about that? So call him directly, 919-779-8277. You call up Matt Davis, you save money on your insurance. And then when you call up, you say, heard you got a killer fantasy team in that Joe Wagon
You
draft.
You can.
Tell
Or-
him that.
Or as Chip Patterson, our friend, texted me today, hey man, here's my big Matt Davis Big 12 parlay of the week.
Nice.
6-1 payout. And I was like, yeah, man.
I think I'll be seeing Matt tonight, and I'm getting a Matt Davis State Farm hat to send to my brother.
Oh, good.
So he can wear them to Central Florida games to be part of the Matt Davis 12.
Good. Are you going to Shady's?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got practice tonight, man. So, I mean, I'm not practicing, but I'll be there. Somebody's got to get the kid there. So big thanks to Matt Davis, InsureGarner.com, theoginsurance.com. Or call him directly at 919-779-8277. Big thanks to Whitaker and Hamer. It's like all the Garner all the time. You mentioned Shady's, great bar in historic downtown Garner. And the folks at Whitaker and Hamer are running that thing. Go to wh.lawyer, attorneys and counselors at law. Maybe Chiefsaholic should be calling
He probably should have.
Whitaker and Hamer.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would have advised, don't wear that mask. Wear any other mask. Any other mask.
Mix it up.
Mix it up from time to time. Don't wear the mask that you're known for as Chiefsaholic. Just a pro tip on that one. That's the kind of legal advice you'll get. I'm kidding, of course. Attorneys and counselors at law, again, check them out, wh.lawyer. The Garner Power Hour continues with our friends at Hometown Realty. I'll see the sign on my way to the Polar Ice House today. Hometown Realty can help you out. Buy and sell with confidence. Do not take these guaranteed offers, folks. These guaranteed offers, you are leaving money on the table, especially a market like ours where homes are going really, really quick. You want to make sure you're getting the maximum value. You can do that with confidence with our friends over at myhtr.com. Big thanks to Hometown Realty for being a corporate champion. All right, let's wrap up our Sleek Fleet OG Live with some Hey Joe. Our guy Travis sent us some AI material. People keep sending us bluegrass. They keep sending us AI things. And this one is, I already did this once, asking AI to make a hit country song. Remember during the Stadium Series game, I asked ChatGPT to write lyrics for the game at Carter Finley Stadium that included
Jake
lyrics about jeans fitting just right, cold beer, throwing a water tower, my truck. And I got to say, ChatGPT came out with a banger.
Yes.
Let's see what this AI country song gives to us.
Got beer in my boots, dirt on my truck, corn on my mind, and a gun up my butt. It's a small town. At least there's dirt, at least there's beer and trucks and shirts. Beer and trucks, dirt kicks up, guns in box, big red cups, dirty boots, dirty beer, dirty butts. Let's all cheer. Oh, the beer in floods, the trucks get mud, the guns are loud, the butts are proud. Got a beer on my plate, a biscuit in my boot, a gun in my butt, and a truck gets true. Beer in trucks, the kids up, guns in.
That's pretty good. Got a gun up my butt.
That's silly.
I think we've lost Giglio.
Poor Chiefsaholic probably had a gun of it.
He probably did. That's where he hid the cash. From our guy,
That's why I had to clean the money.
our guy, young left-hander. I'm with you on the bluegrass covers, but the Warren Zevon cover of Raspberry Beret does go hard. All right, so we played a bluegrass. We played a we played a bluegrass cover of Raspberry Beret. It was atrocious. I don't know why anybody would listen to that over, I don't know, Prince. But here's Warren Zevon doing Raspberry Beret on Letterman.
Our next
here.
guest is one of the
Okay.
most intelligent
Scroll. Okay. All right, no knock to Warren Zevon, man.
But his hair was perfect.
His hair was perfect for that, but I don't need the grunty.
That also sounded
rock
like the
sound.
No, that actually play the intro again. It actually sounds like the beginning of Friends.
Oh yeah, it did. Let's see from Kelly on Twitter. Am I the only one who first seeing this video thought that Ovies' hockey weekend to Pennsylvania was really a mountain man trip to the Alleghenies? Oh, I see.
Oh, now
Riley's sitting in my chair from Groove Wagon as you were doing some OG Gambling Syndicate. I can never let my beard get that big in the first place. Plus, I don't have that kind of hair.
No,
he's got much better hair than me. But in this still, Riley does look like he's seen some things.
He does.
He has seen some bad beats in his days. He has seen some bad beats. All right, let's get to just about everybody sent this to me. So I'm going to go ahead and play it ahead of the NC State Tennessee game. Had a lot of listeners send me this Facebook reel of a Tennessee guy and a State guy.
John Mancuso. Yeah.
Who is John Mancuso?
We played or maybe I did it on Thursday when you weren't here.
Oh, is he one of these like sports comedy guys?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
He's funny.
Team. That's right. The pack is back, baby. I was talking about Boston College, but you guys are doing okay. Yeah, we're in the top 25. We won our opening game. Yeah, I saw that. You had a little trouble there with Western Carolina. We came back and won thanks to 3 touchdowns by Kevin Concepcion. Yeah, it's going to take an immaculate Concepcion for you to even get close in this game. Whatever, this game's in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is our state. Well, we run our own state already. Now we're going to run yours. It's not going to happen. Plus, your only in-state competition is Vanderbilt, the Commodores, who just beat Virginia Tech. Another example of the SEC manhandling the average coast conference. Average? The ACC is filled with smart schools who can also play football. You're not even the smartest school in your own city. It's Duke, Carolina, then you. It's called the Research Triangle, okay? It's where all the smart stuff happens. You wouldn't know about that. We're the third corner of the triangle, okay? You don't even have a triangle. Oh, don't you threaten me with shapes. If you can go 3-0 in your little triangle, then we'll talk. Okay, do math much? You mean 2-0. We can't beat ourselves. And yet you'll do exactly that on Saturday with penalties, fumbles, interceptions. Please, have you even watched our star quarterback, Grayson McCall? Yeah, and he better call 911 because our D-line is going to be breaking and entering in the back. That's corny, like your little Rocky Top song about the half bear, half cat woman. Y'all ain't right. Pick a regular mascot like wolves. Wolves are dangerous and they scare children. His name is Tuffy. We also have Mr. and Mrs. Wolf. Your mascots are a couple of married wolves. That's right. We're a family. You mess with one wolf, you get the whole pack. My gosh, we're corny. Wolf pack. You think you're so cool because you do your little thing, trying to be like Texas. You're not even doing it right. This is hook 'em horns. Horns down. Yeah, all right, this is the wolf pack. All right, horns, wolf pack. I didn't sign up for a sign language class. Well, maybe you need one so you can learn how to spell your own quarterback's last name. It's I-E-L. Should have gone to a smart school. You know what? You can start wolf packing it up at halftime because this game's going to be over by the second quarter.
My only critique.
Oh, but I do remember what it was.
Yeah.
He did a Clemson one, and it began with Clemp, and he's like, you can't do Z, you can do P. That's why I played it last week.
See, he gets that.
Yeah, yes.
That's not a representation of an NC State fan. Straight up. He's referencing the triangle and all this other stuff and trying to like utilize. Yeah, but we're all like, no State fan is ever going to like use Carolina as a way to help win an argument. That's a no-go right off the bat. I'm telling you. I mean, again, funny, but a little off base with the State fans. Let's go to YouTube comments before we wrap things up. From Noah, your resident Texas-raised Cowboy fan and State grad here. Wow, that is a double whammy. Can we get him a shirt? Jeez. Don't worry. The delusional Cowboys fans are still out there. They just aren't paying for an athletic subscription. And for the rest of us, not much to be we them boysing about right now, which again, that's what I've been saying about this offseason with the Cowboys.
Week 1, baby. Give it to me.
And a little bit of tease for the OG mailbag from David. The idea that the ACC will ever get 3 teams in the 12-team playoff is laughable. You seriously think that the same committee that left out an undefeated ACC champ in 2023 would put an ACC champ plus 2 lesser ACC teams in a 12-team field? I would not be all that shocked if the committee ranks the ACC champ under a group of 5 champ just to ensure the ACC has no buys. There's more to that, and we will answer that question. We will address that in the OG mailbag, which will hit your OG fans subscription feed on Friday morning. We appreciate everybody who has signed up for OG fans. We are about, I wanted to get, to be full disclosure, I wanted to get up to 300 subscriptions within the first couple of weeks of launching. And we have not purchased any sort of Facebook marketing ads. We've done no ad campaign. It's all just been through the grind of mentioning it on the podcast, getting it on social media and stuff like that. We are close to 300 subscriptions. So I'm happy with the way things have played out so far. So if you want to get that extra episode of Ovies and Giglio, all you got to do is go to ogtrianglemedia.com right now. You can sign up and you will get those exclusive podcasts, all part of your OG Triangle Media, OG fans subscription. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks to everybody who watched today. We will see you on OG Mailbag and back here again on Monday with all the premature evaluations.